Okay, we're going to take a little break from all the Israel-Iran stuff because the news is turning so fast. Hard to cover. Just wait a few days. Everything will completely change. So welcome to Doug in Exile. Shout out to the Quad Club. If you're watching 404 videos, you'll know this is our fourth one that we posted today. This one on Jean Carroll and the appeal case that's going on right now. It got buried in the news because everything else is happening so quick, but we like keeping up with this case because I want to find out if Trump ever has to pay one dime of that $89 million. Welcome to Doug in Exile. Don't forget to subscribe. That's how you tell us thank you. Here's the first article. Will Trump, this is Forbes magazine, will Trump pay Jean Carroll $89 million? What to know as appeals case weighs defamation case in the court. Okay. A panel of judges heard arguments Tuesday, that's today, over whether to overturn the January 24th, 2024 ruling of Carroll versus Trump, in which a jury ordered Trump to pay $83 million for defaming Carroll when he verbally attacked her after she publicly accused him of assaulting her in the 90s. The judges, who were appointed by Presidents Biden and Barack Obama, which is the only reason why this thing even happened, gave little indication how they'll rule, posing questions to both sides, pretending to be even-handed when really they already know they're going to conclude against Trump about their legal arguments without expressing strong opinions one way or another. Yeah. Do you think Joe Biden or Barack Obama appointed have strong opinions one way or another? It'll just be, oh, we magically conclude that Trump is guilty and has to pay the $89 million. I'll already tell you how it comes out. Now, if it doesn't come out that way, my hat's off to these Democrat hacks, because I go, wow, they must have really had to, white knuckle it to go against their internal and constant hatred of Trump and actually bring about justice. The president has asked the court to consider both the damages he was ordered to pay and whether he's liable for defamation at all, which wasn't at issue during the trial itself, as the court used a ruling in a different case Carroll brought against Trump to find him liable for defamation, just asking the jury to determine how much he had to pay in damages. Trump's lawyers argue the case should be thrown out because he has presidential immunity from liability since he made the comments about Carroll while he was in the office. That's the actual defamation part of it. Also claiming the district court hearing the case excluded some evidence that could have helped Trump. That's what Alina Habba said about the case. That could have helped Trump and improperly instructed the jury regarding how it should calculate damages, which is a big one too. Those are bad instructions they were given that was leading them basically to ramp it up on Trump. The case is moving forward in appeals court after judges ruled last week not to grant Trump's request to have the Justice Department replace him as a party in the case, as the president argued the case should be against the U.S. government since Trump was in the White House when he defamed Carroll. That ruling was a blow to Trump, as if the court had ruled in his favor, it would have made it much easier to throw the case out, given federal rules granting federal officials immunity from legal liability for their official acts in office. What happened during today's hearing? Judges posed questions to both sides on Tuesday during oral arguments without tipping their hands in which way they could rule. Again, I'll tell you, I don't have to even see the case. Trump's attorney, Justin Smith, was questioned about why Trump and his legal team waited so long to bring up some of his claims and why the president didn't appeal a previous order the court issued that denied him immunity in the case. Roberta Kaplan, represents Carroll, was also asked to defend the high amount of damages the jury awarded Trump. Well, I don't see why Jean Carroll's lawyer has to defend. They just go like, look, we try to get as much money as we can. As well as explained to the court why the Supreme Court's ruling last year giving Trump more immunity from legal liability doesn't affect this case. Smith argued that's Trump's guy, argued the Supreme Court's decision revived the question of whether Trump had immunity despite the earlier court ruling saying he didn't, also claiming that the $83 million Trump was ordered to pay is disproportionately high compared to related cases. Because like we said in the last year's headlines was these were record-setting, they've never seen this amount paid for defamation. Kaplan argued, that is, Jean Carroll's lawyer argued, the Supreme Court ruling doesn't change the previous facts about the case and defended both at the compensatory and punitive damages The jury awarded Carroll, pointing to the numerous death threats the writer has received due to Trump's attacks. Now, that is not true. Trump can attack her, and it doesn't mean that a death threat will happen. Because, by the way, I read Twitter all the time, and I see death threats against Trump by E. Jean Carroll supporters all the time. So this is not a proof of anything. And his continued attacks against both Carroll and the legal case against him, to which Trump should have a free speech right to do. Trump showed his hatred and disdain for Carroll and the judicial process at the 2024 trial and continued to defame Miss Carroll throughout the trial. Why wouldn't he hate the process? Why wouldn't Trump hate a woman, assuming he's innocent? Why wouldn't Trump hate that she would say those things about him? Kaplan claimed, arguing in court, that kind of record certainly justified the punitive damages award. What to watch for, it's unclear how long it'll take the appeals court to issue a ruling in the case. Once it does, the losing party could still ask the full appeals court to reconsider the case and also take the dispute to the Supreme Court. Yes, this is going to Justice Clarence Thomas to finally get, I think Trump won't get justice in this Manhattan court. Okay, you have to take it to the Supreme Court or somewhere out of New York. Trump won't have to pay Carroll until the appeals process is fully over. She ain't getting a dime, guys. You hear that? That's the good news. You know how long this appeals court case is going to take? He doesn't have to pay a dime. It's accruing 4% interest. This article says Trump's already posted a $91 million bond in the case. That's on hold to find out. The Forbes evaluation estimates Trump's net worth $5 billion as of Monday, making him the 700th richest person. You know, he could pay this thing off for nothing, including the $454 million ordered to pay in the civil fraud case against him and his company that has ballooned to over $500 million. That is under Letitia James. So he could pay all this off now just with what he made in crypto coin since this case. Here's the Tennessee Star with a little bit more on the E. Jean Carroll stuff. Okay. New York law firm representing Kilmar Abrego Garcia, that's Roberta Kaplan's, received $7 million from Reid Hoffman. That's that goon that used to work for Elon Musk. He's the head of LinkedIn, used to work with him at PayPal. His name is on a certain island, and Elon Musk said he's afraid of it coming out because he knows about it. Nonprofit to fund E. Jean Carroll lawsuit against Trump. So Reid Hoffman paid for the lawsuit against E. Jean Carroll. It's Hecker and Fink, New York law firm representing Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the illegal alien being brought back. The Department of Justice case against the Middle Tennessean was paid $7 million by a nonprofit created by LinkedIn co-founder and Democrat mega donor Reid Hoffman. In 2020, the money was earmarked to fund the lawsuits of former advice columnist E. Jean Carroll. Again, how far does this corruption go in the Democrat Party? Business Insider, Trump's lawyers say the Supreme Court sweeping presidential immunity ruling should save him $83 million. He once again is going to the Supreme Court. Here's the facts. Trump is arguing that presidential immunity should invalidate an $83 million verdict. A jury last year ordered him to pay millions to E. Jean Carroll. His lawyers now say the Supreme Court sweeping immunity decision changes everything. A federal appeals court is weighing the question right now, even as we speak. Here's the last headline. In what I gathered, E. Jean Carroll still gets daily death threats from Trump supporters, the appeals court says. E. Jean Carroll, writer whom Trump was found liable for sexually abusing and defaming, continues to receive truly graphic and horrifying murder threats daily, she told her federal appeals court on Tuesday. Again, that's not Trump's fault. That is a bunch of people making those threats. We never endorse threatening anyone. Other side, I don't care how bad they are. You don't threaten someone. That's terrorism, trying to intimidate. It's better just to make an argument against them. You don't have to make a threat. That's the update on E. Jean Carroll being appealed now. When there's an update, you guys know I'll spill it all over the place because that's what we do here, is bring you just the most important news there is to report today. Shout out to the Quad Club. I have the best audience ever. I couldn't do this without you guys. You guys make it fun. I love seeing you guys in the comments. Even when you disagree with me, it's important for you to make your voice heard, comment on each other, talk to each other, always be respectful in the chat, please. If you go nuts on us, we'll bump you from the chat. I want to protect my people from being attacked or from really mean people and stuff. And thank you guys. I can't thank you enough. You're paying all of my rent, okay, just by watching. If I can get you to subscribe, that'd be great. Let's get me to 600,000 subs. I'm Doug in Exile. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow.